Aloha, Hana. I'm going to go through and show you how to make a multivariate chart with this data. I've got, I'm using the class data. In class, we did the call center. This time I'll use the dentist data. The first thing I'll do is I will add a few rows to the very front. I'm going to add some numbers. So to do that, I'll start off I'll just put a 1 here. And then I'll use the code to, now I want to create some classes of data. We'll have it light EA process, and then we'll put a number in front of it. But the number will increase as long as we're still in the same class, light EA or dentist office in the process. And then we'll start over again if we get to, like, for example, process B or a different dentist office. So the formula is if I'll put an and, what I want is both of these need to be equal to each other. If they're both equal to each other, and then increment this by 1, otherwise make the value of 1. I'll grab the bottom right hand corner, drag it all the way down. With Kaava, for the beach. There we go. You'll notice that, for example, here at the beach, we go from process B to process C, numbers start over because of the formula. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is, let's see, let's give the category for this. And so I'm going to give it I'll say D2 ampersand, and I'll put a space in there with quotation marks, ampersand E2. And that will work. And I can copy that all the way down. I'll go to the bottom right hand corner, double click, whole thing will copy. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll say the number and first thing. And this gives me a number system that I'll use in just a little bit. What's the biggest number that we have in column A? If I click on column A, one way I could do it, I could look at what this number is down here, or I can just use a formula to calculate that for me. So I'm going to go to cell H1, equals max A. Okay, another formula I'm going to use is unique. This is all the classes of things that we have for both the dentist office and the processes. We'll let EA process A, B, and C, Kaava, or B, C, each. Okay, I'm copy this, and I'll transpose this over here to the right, go to K1, and I'll go to paste special. Get to paste special, and click on values, and I'll transpose it. So now I've got those. I also want to have the number of rows consistent with how many we have. So I'm going to put equals sequence. I'll put typing that. I could just say sequence maximum column A, but that works too. Now this gives me 85 rows. Okay. I want to be able to look at this value right here. We draw and take this. I want to be able to look up this value, use a VLOOKUP formula to grab the contents of here so I can populate it with that thing right there. And so I will, within cell K2, I'll use a VLOOKUP, and I'll use that plus that. And I'm going to be looking at columns C through F, and those 4 over. We'll put false, I'll put 0, same thing. That's a value of 5.51. But what I want to do here also is I want to lock column J. That way I can copy all the way over. I want to lock row 1. And I also want to anchor the table from C to F. None of those are anchored. I can copy that all the way over. So what I did to copy that is I click on the cell, I grab the bottom right hand corner, and I can drag that over. And that gives me everything. If I select those, double click the bottom right hand corner. Well, great, that's all the way down. But there's still a problem with the formula. If I go down here, I've got a bunch of NAs. If you take a bunch of time to delete those, you have to delete those differently every time. I can write a formula, copy this VLOOKUP formula, copy, and I'll put in something called if is now. So if there's an error, give it a blank, a null state, a null value, which is double quotation marks. Otherwise, use that VLOOKUP formula. And then I can just copy this all the way down. And it has everything. They come down here, these are just blanks. If I try to evaluate with the min max or anything like that, that won't be a problem. And I come over here and let's see, right here I'll do equals K1 and drag it over. It's 9 cells. Have it 9 cells. And that gives me, we build a table. I want min, max, actually mean, I want, these are town, total. They calculate these, and for equals min k, that is the minimum value for everything in column K. So let EA process A. I can make these. That's the minimum, and then I can do average to get the mean. That's K. If I want the max, I do max K. The town mean is equal average for all of the EA, which is K, L, and M. The total mean is everything from K to S. Give me those. We'll do a little bit of formatting with these. Actually, I'll format them later. These first three I can copy directly over because they're going to be, they're not anchored. That's K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. And those are all those averages. The town mean is going to do equals V5 equals that cell. Then I can copy these values because, and then that will work. This one I can say equals V6. I can drag that over. And maybe I want to format these numbers, make them look a little bit nicer. If I do, if I don't, either way. That doesn't matter much. Okay, now let's get ready to build the graph. I'm just going to copy the names in the first ones. That's for the beginning. The next one I want to do is the mean minus the min, because building a stack graph, and that's the difference between those two. I do that a couple times. Okay, now I've got all the tools I need for my build my multivariate graph. I'm going to grab the first 2 rows here. I'll go into insert, and I will do a stacked bar chart. It's a stacked column chart. And great. That's what I want. Yeah. That's not what I want. There. And now I have my stack bar chart. I can grab these 2, copy them, Control C, I click on the table, Control V is paste, and they are there. Now I can start. Oh, I guess I also want to add these as well. And copy these and I'll paste those. But these, I had this thing with secondary axis, which works. If somebody showed me in class today, I could just make those be line graphs, and that's okay. And then I don't have to have a secondary axis. Let's see, what did I do? Ooh, of course. Change series chart type. Okay, so I want these to be stacked column. And then I want the last 2 to be line graphs. Okay, you can do that. In class, what I showed, if you change to secondary axis, if you do that, you make sure you have both the scales are the same. Okay, now that we've got these graphs, I'm going to click on the bottom column. I'm going to right click. I'll give it a no fill. The second one, I'll do the same thing, no fill. But these ones, I'm going to give an outline because I want them to show up. And the ones right above, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to right click, no fill, and give it an outline, automatic. And what this gives us, oh, look at it. See. Now we've got these little boxes where the top is the max, the bottom is the min, the line in the middle is the mean. And we're going to get rid of those lines. And we have, I'm going to look at this. If I select this table, the max is 20. Okay, so I'm going to just make the maximum of this probably something like 20, 21. Give a little more there. I want to add some lines on here. Let's see, this one is a dentist's office, whatever I want to call it. I'm going to go up to chart design, add chart element. We add some grid lines, primary, major, vertical. If I click on these and format grid lines, and I want to go over here to the right, I would see one of these. Oh, format access. I'm going to tick marks and interval between tick marks 3. And now we've got these separated by just a pound. And I've got my multi-vari chart. It's completed, looks pretty good. Looks like there's not a whole lot of variation. The average for each of the dentist office is really close to the average, the entire average, although looks like the middle one is a little more consistent. And right, Eva Beach, it's way off. A lot more variation, but EA has some variation, not as much as Eva Beach. But there you have it. There's a multi-vari chart. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it was useful for you. Thank you very much.